Child, Boeing 737 MAX pilot and former chief has been indicted. Okay, his name is Mark Faulkner, and let's take a look at him. That's Mark Faulkner. That's him. So, he is charged with some counts. A one, a two. Ooh. So, just an hour ago, this was found out. Thursday, October 14th, a federal grand jury in the Northern District of Texas, because that's where Mark Faulkner resides at now. He used to live in Washington State. He no longer lives there. He resides in Keller, Texas. And I'm so proud of myself because that came from one of the incels telling me. So I remember that. But a federal grand jury in the Northern District of Texas returned an indictment today charging a former chief tech. There's somebody outside my property. Sorry, a former technical pilot let me start this over. Anyway, a former chief technical pilot for the Boeing company, which makes a lot of those aircrafts you see flying up in the air, um, with deceiving the Federal Aviation Administration, which is the FAA, Aircraft Evaluation Group. That's short jargon for the AEG, which is Aircraft Evaluation Group, in connection with the FAA and AEG, which I just told you what that means. Evaluation of Boeing 737 MAX airplane and scheming to defraud Boeing's United States-based airline customers to obtain 10 of the millions of dollars for Boeing. Child. The court documents said that the 49-year-old Mark Faulkner allegedly deceived the FAA AEG during an agency evaluation and certification of Boeing 737 MAX airplane. As alleged in the indictment, Faulkner provided the agency with materially false, inaccurate, and incomplete information about a new part of the flight controls for the Boeing 737 MAX, which is called the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. Short is MCAS. And because of his alleged deception, a key document published by the Federal Aviation Administration and the Aviation Evaluation Group lacked any reference to the MCAS. In return, the airplane manual and pilot training materials for the United States-based airline lacked any reference to the MCAS, as Boeing's United States-based airline customers were deprived of important information when making and finalizing their decision to pay Boeing tens of millions of dollars for the 737 MAX. There's so much more here to read. In an attempt to save more money, Faulkner allegedly withheld critical information from regulators, said acting United States Attorney Chad E. Meacham for the Northern District of Texas. So he said, this attorney said his callous choice to mislead the FAA hampered the agency's ability to protect the flying public, that's you and me, and left pilot in the lurch, lacking information about certain 737 MAX flight controls. That's not good. The Department of Justice will not tolerate fraud, especially in industries where the stakes are so high. No pun intended. It's the truth. So, they went on to say that there's no excusing those who deceive safety regulations for the sake of personal gain or commercial expediency, said the Inspector General Eric J. Soskin of the United States Department of Transportation. Our office works continuously to help keep the sky safe for flying and protect the traveling public from needless dangers. Today's charge demonstrates our unwavering commitment to working with our law enforcement and prosecutorial partners to hold responsible those who put lives at risk. And so I'm trying to get to the part where he's charged with 1 count, 2 count, 3 count, you count. So they said, according to the court documents, Boeing began developing and marketing the 737 MAX in around June 2011. They was responsible for determining the minimum level of the pilot's training required for a pilot to fly the 737 MAX for the United States-based airline, based on a nature and extent of the difference between the 737 MAX and the prior version of the Boeing 737 airplane. The 737 Next Generation, NG for short. At the conclusion of this evaluation, the FAA AEG published the 737 MAX Flight Standardization Board Report, which is FSB report in short. Okay, so let me move this right on along. In November 2016, Faulkner discovered information about an important change to the MCAS. Rather than sharing the information about this change with the FAA and the AEG, Faulkner allegedly intentionally withheld the information and deceived the FAA AEG about the MCAS. Yeah. Okay. So that was one. That was November 2016. Then again in October 29th of 2018, after the FAA learned that the Lion Air Flight 610, a 737 MAX, had crashed near Jakarta, Indonesia, shortly after takeoff, and that the MCAS was operating in the moment before the crash. Child. Shortly after the crash, all of the 737's MAX airplanes was grounded in the United States. So therefore, Faulkner is charged with the ones that I just read, the 2 counts of fraud involving aircraft parts in an interstate commerce, and 4 counts of wire fraud. Child, he was getting the moolah, the dineros, okay? Pesos, the money. He is expected to make his initial court appearance on Friday, which is today, because it's after midnight, in Fort Worth, Texas. And he's going to be standing before the United States Magistrate Judge Jeffrey L. Corton of the United States District Court of the Northern District of Texas. If convicted, he faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison on each account of wire fraud. Ooh, I hope you only did that one time. And 10 years in prison on each account of fraud involving the aircraft parts in interstate commerce. A federal district court judge will determine any sentence after considering the United States sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. Child. Look like the Chicago field office of the FBI is involved in this, child. You got district attorneys and stuff. Child. That's a big arrest right there. I know it seemed like nothing. That's a big arrest. You know, they separate from us, the Arab people. That's a big indictment. But anyway, I hope you found this very informative with me rattling on. To sum it up, Chief and former Boeing 737 MAX chief technical pilot indicted for fraud. He was indicted October 14, Thursday of 2021. Ciao.